People often ask me, how did I manage to take off 20 years and not only pick right up from where I left off in my career, but create $1 million business right out of the chute? Hi, I'm Deborah Poneman. I'm founder of Yes to Success seminars, where for over 40 years I've been teaching people how to live their ultimate life. Now, some of you know the story of how I started my Yes to Success company in 1980, and although my seminars were exploding in countries around the world, and I was teaching in every major US city, and I was about to launch my own TV show, and my book was in the hands of a major New York publisher, I put it all on hold when my daughter was born. But do you know the story of how I was able to come back right where I left off? Well, the story goes like this. I was a happy mom at home, just hovering away over those kids. And one day, my dear friend Janet Atwood, New York Times bestselling author of The Passion Test, says to me, Debbie, when are you going to stop pretending that your kids still need you and get back to teaching your seminars and on the speaking circuit? I knew it was the truth. I knew that I had no way of knowing that my kids ever really needed me or were better off with me at home. I know many, many kids who turned out really great, whose moms and dads work full time and they were raised by grandparents or nannies or even in the foster system. But of course, the other truth was that my kids were ready to let go of me being a constant presence in their life long before I was. I knew that what was really going on was it was I who needed them. I didn't want to let go because even though I never got a round of applause, let alone a standing ovation for all of the brilliant speeches that I gave them on a regular basis, I knew that one, I love you, Mommy, was worth so much more to me than 1,000 standing ovations, but I also knew that she was right. So I eked out you're right, Janet. And the next thing I knew, she called and said, I got you a speaking engagement in Canada, and I got you another one with super seminars down in San Diego, and I was on my way. And here's a principle of success that I promise it will always bring you home, and that is, treat everyone you meet as the most important person in the world. Janet got me my first gigs because she remembered that when the first time she attended my Yes to Success seminar, she was broke. She was so broke that she was sleeping on a couch at the Transcendental Meditation Center and climbing over a fence. There was no bathroom there at the shower. Climbing over a fence and taking a shower at the beach house or whatever, the pool room, like swimming pool room of a some kind of what do you call it? Complex, yes, like a housing complex next to where she lived. But she remembered that I gave her her first gig as a speaker, and she was right there to give me mine. And you know who I got my second speaking gig from when I came back? From my kid's babysitter, who I had treated as the most important person in the world, even though the first time she came to sit the kids, she had black hair, and the second time she came to sit the kids, she had white blonde hair, but she always had her rollerblades. But I always treated her with respect and always treated her as the most important person in the world. And guess what? Now she owns one of the largest and most successful event planning companies in the country. And you know why I'm a best-selling author and was able to come back with $1 million launch right out of the chute? It's because Miss Marcy Shimoff, author of Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul and the Mother's Soul and the Single Soul and the Couple Soul and This Soul and That Soul and Happy for No Reason and Love for No Reason and The Star of the Secret, she was my secretary in the 1980s. And I remember after she took Yes to Success a couple times, she came up to me and said, I want to work for you. And she was so cute. And she's like bouncing up and down. And I'm going to help you be really successful. And I have all these ideas. And you know what I did? I treated her as the most important person in the world. I did not look around the room to see if there was somebody more important than her to speak to. As a matter of fact, in Kabbalah, which is the Jewish mystical text, it says that if you do God's work for you, if you do God's work for him, he will do your work for you. And when you are treating the person in front of you as the most important person in the world, because whoever's in front of you at any given moment is the most important person in the world, when you treat them that way, you are doing God's work on earth. And then God, instead of having to look around the room and see who you can network more effectively with, the Creator, the God of your understanding, the Creator will bring you the ideal people to network with and the ideal clients. Just leave it up to that energy in creation. And so when Marcy came up to me, I just looked at her, and besides thinking she's so cute that it's unbearable, listened to every word she had to say, hired her as my secretary. And you know why I'm a best-selling author? Because the people at Chicken Soup asked her to write Chicken Soup for the American Idol Soul, the #1 best-selling book series of all times and the #1 TV series of all times in one book. She was under contract for Happy for No Reason, and they said, who do you know who loves American Idol, moi, and who is a great writer? And I was handed a best-selling book to write. Okay, so this is probably one of the most important things I have ever learned about becoming successful. I'm in the competitive world of professional speaking, and no matter where you are in life, just starting out or at the top of your game, make sure you treat people well. As a matter of fact, everyone like they're the most important person in the world. Not just the owner of the company and not just the event planner, but the person who sets up your easel and the person who brings you your water and the person who puts on your mic, because to them they are, and that's the way that they deserve to be treated. You want to be successful? See the good, the God in everyone. One of my favorite quotes is from Mahatma Gandhi, where he says, if you can't see God in the next person you meet, you need look no further. So thanks for spending this time with me and for taking the step towards living your ultimate life.